Hola mi gente, ¿qué lo que? How you doing today? I hope you're very well and enjoying the weather. If where you are it's nice, and if it's not, also enjoying the weather. My experience is that you can enjoy the weather no matter which one it is. Anyway, I'm having a really nice tea, which is absolutely amazing. And for today's 5 Minutes of Magic, we are going to go with this guy, Will Self, British author, and his debut collection of short stories, The Quantity Theory of Insanity. And The Guardian said at the time, because you could tell this is an old book, unashamedly funny as well as chilling. Why have I chosen this one today? Well, talking to a few friends now, easing off lockdown, it's a summer, going out. I've been talking to a few friends and even people that I've just met. And something we all have agreed is that this past year and a half has been quite challenging mentally to all of us. And, might have left us a little bit more crazy than we normally have been. So I thought this book seems quite appropriate. I'm about to start the third story, mid halfway. So these are short stories, but not really short. No, this is the fourth story I'm gonna start. I've already read 3. Let's go. Ha ha ha! Ho ho ho! Far, far and away, a mermaid sings in the silky sunlight. An idiot cooed to himself on the park bench that stood at the crest of the hill. Below him, the green sword stretched down to the running track. In the middle distance, the hospital squatted among the houses, a living cigarette thrusting out of a crumbling plain. The idiot's hair had been chopped into a ragged tonsure. He wore a blue hooded anorak and bell-bottomed corduroy trousers, and rocked as he sang. As I passed by, I looked into his face. It was a face like the bench he sat on, a sad, forlorn piece of municipal furniture. Although the morning sun shone bright, his face was steadily being drizzled on. This particular idiot lay outside my jurisdiction. He was, as it were, undeserted. I knew that by ignoring the opportunity to indulge in the silky belly burn of the self-piteous caring, I was facing up to an occupational challenge. If I was to have any success in my new job, I would need to keep myself emotionally inviolate, walled off. For this morning, I was to begin an indefinite appointment as art therapist, attached to Ward 9. My destination was the squat 15-story building that rose up ahead of me, out of the tangled confluence of Camden Town. I bounced down the hill, the decrease in altitude matched pace for pace by the mountain density of the air. The freshness of the atmosphere on Parliament Hill gave way to the contaminated cotton wool of ground floor summer London. Already at 8:45 a.m., the roads around Gospel Oak were solidly coagulated with metal, while shirt-sleeved drivers sat and blatted out fumes. As I picked my way through the streets, the hospital appeared and then disappeared. Its very vastness made its sight seem problematic. In one street, the horizon would flukily exclude it in such a convincing way that it might never have existed. but when I rounded the corner, there was its flank clearing up, the grey blue hunched of some massive whale, turning away from me, sending up a terrace of concrete flats with a lazy flip in its giant tail. I walked and walked, and the hospital never seemed to get any closer. Its sloping sides were bound with mighty balconies, jutting concrete shelves the size of aircraft carried flight decks. The front of the building was hidden behind a series of zigzagging walkways and ramps that rose in crisscross patterns from the lower ground to the third floor. And the hospital's feet, and cuddled in the crook of its great wings for arms, were tumblers of auxiliary buildings, nurses, flat leads, parking fortlets, generator units 2-story high, housed in giant Venetian blind slatted boxes, and ghostly incinerators, their concrete walls and chimney blackened with some awful stain. I rounded the end of the street and found myself quite suddenly at the bottom of a ramp that led straight up to the main entrance. The 2 previous times I had been to the hospital, it was a working wasp's nest in full diurnal swing. But now, their photoelectric cells disconnected, the main doors to the hospital were wedged open with orange milk crates. I picked my way through the long, low foyer, past the shop, at this hour still clad in its rollover steel door, and in between miscellaneous islands, freestanding chairs, bolted together in multiples of 2, seemingly at random. Okay, there you go. So this is just the beginning of the story, word 9, of the quantity theory of insanity by Will Self. And you could tell already how his amazing way of describing space and even the pace of the story. And the little things of, like the diurnal swing. The 2 previous times I had been in the hospital, it was a working wasp's nest in full diurnal swing. So you could feel, the hustle and bustle, but this was not the case that time. So kind of the contradictions and the way of describing. And it goes, I really recommend you reading this story and this book. So please go and get it. And if you really like this, let me know in the comments what you like about the story. Would you pick up this book? And yeah, share it with your friends. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care. Bye.